you know those Scholastic book fairs? So I loved those. Every single time in elementary school they had one, I begged my mom for money to buy some books. And I remember one of the books that I bought was a like kind of like forensic type book. And
Mhm.
it had like the cute little dust and like the caution tape and like that inspired me along with just being the friend in my friend group that all of my friends came to ask for advice.
And I had taken it was actually a sociology course, multicultural something or other that I loved. And I thought, oh, this might be a good major for me.
I always knew I wanted to be Dr. Jones, and I grew up watching The Cosby Show, and I grew up watching Heathcliff Huxtable taking care of babies. As I grew older and as I kind of found myself, I really loved the idea of psychology and the mind and helping people through the toughest parts of their lives.
I'm a professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I recently authored a book titled Wrongful Conviction in Sexual Assault. I've also written many papers that have been published in professional journals.
So first, I am the externship coordinator at North Bethesda Medical Center for the Regional Diagnostic Treatment Center. So pretty much what I do there is, in addition to running a doctorate level training program, I provide psychological evaluation and treatment to children that have been abused. And now I'm happy to be actually teaching a class on psychology of the Black experience at Middlesex County College as well. First immigrating from Ghana and to the United States, I lived in Newark, New Jersey, which is a more urban area. Then we moved to the suburbs. And then I went to a HBCU, not just any HBCU. I went to the Howard University. So, you know, the Mecca, as we call it, at Howard. So that experience was so unique in fostering who I am as an individual, empowering my Black identity, you know, and you don't even realize some of the, you know, microaggressions that you experience and things of that nature until you're in a very supportive HBCU environment where the whole added layer of like, oh, do I say this or are they gonna think like I'm thinking too deep into it, the race card situation, that freeness liberates you. I definitely feel as though having that experience helped a lot because now when I'm in doing the addressing racial trauma at the independent school consulting there, that experience helped me to better serve the kids and their experiences.
While my sister and I were in middle school and high school, both my parents went back to college and were getting their associates, then their bachelors. And my mom has a master's in counseling. And so, but I'm the first generation. So like I graduated high school, you're going to college. So, but I'm really grateful and blessed that my parents had went back and got their degrees.
You know, the GREs, oh my goodness, I had to take the GRE more than once to get a score, a score good enough to be over the baseline of what was needed to get into doctorate programs, you know? And listen, I had to apply more than once to get into my doctorate program. The first time I applied, I didn't get into any at all.
When I got into this field, I kind of just dove right in. I didn't really map out my whole career. I just kind of wanted to take it step by step. And as a result, there are certain things that I should have looked into that I didn't realize that I needed to. For example, internships. My college journey was a difficult one. I was inside of school, then I was out, and so when I did get back into school, I focused on doing well and really like, you know, graduating on time. So I didn't really consider the fact that I needed to make sure I got experience in the field. So that way when I did graduate, I would be a better candidate for job applications.
But I think I joined in 1986. And, there aren't a lot of Black psychologists. So it was a tremendous opportunity to, have contact and continuing ongoing relationships with other Black psychologists who were, encountering a lot of the same and trying to deal with the same problems.
My dad is a clinical social worker, and he was a pioneer of the Black social workers. So he was a part of this national organization that was specifically Black social workers. And he pulled me into, years ago, we would do trainings together. We would couple up and do trainings for their annual conventions. And so I loved it, like the vibe, the people, to be connected with people who are you professionally connect with, but also kind of, I'm going to say, a spiritual connection there, because they all have a similar mindset about our people and our mission and what we need to do. And so that was like really, I loved that.
When I was like staying up late to do the papers and research, when I was just going above and beyond to make sure I did the best that I could do in class, and it went beyond that, in that like I really wanted to learn more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's when it really transitioned into my passion. I feel even now when people say like, oh, you do so much, I'm just so passionate about this work.
I spent 4 years at Rikers Island. At that point, adolescents were on the island as well as young adults. And I created the very first program in the United States that did away with solitary confinement for adolescents and young adults. But he was a young man who was 17 when I just turned 18. And it was Valentine's Day. That's how I remember, because it was right around this time. And he was charged with murder. He was charged with murder, 18 years old, senior in high school, and he'd never been in jail, not gang involved. And then one day I get a message from the art therapist and said, so-and-so's not here anymore. I said, what happened? Like, did he plead guilty, whatever? They were like, they let him go. There wasn't enough evidence. And what killed me is that young man spent a year and a half, 18 and 19 years old, locked up. And so part of me, I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to meet him and that he had support while he was there. But had he not had people like me in his life, who knows what could have happened.
Like just getting the self-esteem and feeling worthy enough and feeling like you're capable enough to excel in this field.
Called the imposter syndrome, and I'm sure like you and your other students will learn this. The feeling is that they think, I don't know what I'm doing. But that's a feeling we put on ourselves because we feel like, am I supposed to be here? Do they think I'm an imposter? Am I smart enough? Am I good enough? And the answer to all those questions are yes. And we have to believe it because we're allowing the world to project uncertainty onto us, and we're owning it. And we need to not own that.
I feel like I have touched a lot of lives, and I feel like a lot of lives have touched me too. So, if for whatever reason I could not see one more patient, I would feel as though it was such a rewarding experience.
I hope to show Black people, Black women and men and non-binary, that they can succeed no matter what. Everybody comes from different walks of life. Some people have experienced things that have hindered them more than others. Not everybody has a secure or a supportive environment. And I hope to show that regardless of that, they can succeed.
Resiliency. And when we talk about resilience, we have to acknowledge, in order for you to be resilient, that means you have had some type of adversity, trauma, or challenge that you've overcome. And oftentimes we see people in the final stage looking perfect and successful in things of that nature, but not realizing all the challenges they had to overcome.
But I can say to my Bloomfield comrades, up and coming stars that are there who are interested specifically in the field of psychology, that please connect with us, access us.
Become an expert in something. choose something that you're really interested in, that you have passion about, and know that area thoroughly, and demonstrate your expertise in that area by publishing material in that area, and or by making presentations and sharing your expertise.
Having a mentor or having somebody that you can go to with your questions is going to be so key. Don't do this journey alone. Find somebody who's doing what you want to do and ask them how they got there.
Signing up or looking into panels where discussions are being had and fields that you're interested in is also a good idea, because there's been so many times where, I've had questions, but I didn't know how to articulate the questions, and I didn't want to ask somebody professional because I was just like, I don't know what to say. So instead of going to them and asking those questions or trying to, I would sign up for panels and I would sit and I would listen and just be a sponge.